Good evening, everyone. Welcome to our Spring High School Orchestra concert. We are super excited to share all of this music with you tonight. We have a really interesting mix of repertoire and different types of ensembles. We're going to be starting the evening with the High School Orchestra, playing a trio arrangement of R.M. Khachaturian's piano piece, Ivan Sings. And this arrangement is going to feature our cello section, which is why we have kind of an unorthodox seating arrangement here. And then after that, we'll be hearing from three of our chamber music groups from our high school chamber club, which is coached by Joanna Jenner through a generous grant from the Bronxville School Foundation. And then after the chamber music portion of the program, we'll have just a moment to reset the stage and bring out the orchestra. So thank you for being here tonight. We hope you enjoy this program. Thank you. Please welcome to the stage the Honors Orchestra. The first piece we're performing, composer might be unfamiliar to you. It's actually one person with a lot of names, Joseph Boulogne Chevalier de Saint-Georges. About a year or two ago, there was a film that came out about him. He was from Guadeloupe in the late 18th century, Creole composer, traveled to Paris and studied there as a composer and a performer. So contemporary of Mozart, quite prolific. And this is his only surviving opera called The Anonymous Lover. This is a ballet, so a short dance number, in 6/8 time with a lot of off-the-string playing. Very characteristic, classical, fun little piece, and we hope you enjoy. As our high school orchestra comes on stage to join us, I want to introduce the next piece. Actually, just one quick remark on the previous piece. There's always something we do now. Ravel's Pavane was originally written for piano. In fact, all but one of Ravel's compositions was written for piano first, and then he orchestrated many for orchestra. The most famous orchestration is French horn solo in this piece. Ours is a string arrangement, really beautiful, and got to feature our harp. Our next piece is the suite from Alfred Hitchcock's film Psycho. So every year when I'm thinking about repertoire, especially for the spring, I'm thinking about what's a masterwork of the string orchestra repertoire, something written for string orchestra that draws on the techniques and sounds and style that we can get from an all-string ensemble. And there's Tchaikovsky's Serenade, Elgar's Serenade, pieces like that that we have played and will continue to play. In the 20th century, there's a small handful. In fact, the Green Sleeves we did in December would count as a 20th century piece. But Bernard Herrmann's score for the film is very unique. Most of the time, a film score, if it's an orchestra, it's a full symphony orchestra. Star Wars is a classic example, lots of brass and percussion. For Psycho, Hitchcock was filming in black and white, which in 1960 was actually kind of passé. He was already using color for a long time. And so Bernard Herrmann said, I think since the film's going to be black and white and kind of like a simpler palette, we should just have strings. We shouldn't have any winds and brass or percussion. And with the strings, I'm going to be able to come up with a really wide range of colors, but they're going to sort of mirror the black and white of the film. And so we'll hear in the prelude is played during the opening credits, which were the credits themselves famously designed by a mid-century designer named Saul Bass. I mention that because our concert poster that Diana designed draws on his design for that opening. So we'll hear that prelude, which is really like an overture, and maybe actually have been drawn on some work Herrmann wrote when he was younger. Then the city immediately follows the credits. The camera pans over Phoenix, Arizona, and then zooms into kind of a sultry hotel and a couple there, and we're introduced to let's say, an important character in the film. The murder scene is a scene that, if you've never seen Psycho, like all the students on the stage before this year, you've seen it because it's been referenced so many times. And yes, we will be playing music from that scene. That scene is scored only with string orchestra, no sound effects, no electronics, it's just strings. And then the cellar is a very climactic scene. We'll be using sul ponticello technique and tremolo, a lot of difficult things. And then a little finale in there. So we hope you enjoy this. It's a little bit different than some of the other music we're playing tonight. Draws on a lot of different compositional techniques, and we're really proud of what we've accomplished here. Please enjoy Psycho. told them it might not get applause immediately as soon as we got that note off. Thank you. Before we perform our last piece, which does have more of an applause, last note, don't worry. It's our spring concert, which is a bittersweet time, because we are going to be saying goodbye to some really important, wonderful people, our seniors. This year we have 5 seniors, and we are going to call them each to the front of the stage one at a time to be recognized and receive a senior award to recognize their time in the orchestra. It's been a real honor and privilege to be working with these students. Actually, Simos was one of the very first students I met here. He interviewed me, so thanks, Simos. And they have really followed. We had a really big senior class last year, and I feel like this time last year, they were kind of like, how can we be seniors without them? And they have stepped up and been amazing leaders to this group, and we're gonna really miss them. So, oh, thank you. I'm gonna just pull them out of here. First up, Simos, would you please come up and be recognized? Charlie Hodlock. Jackson Meyercourt. Kieran Wagner. Thank you. And lastly, also our president of our chamber club. So much of what you saw from the chamber musicians only happened because of Ria working behind the scenes. Really incredible. You'd be amazed how much goes into just getting 3 people to show up at the same place at the same time with their music, but we're not gonna tell too much of our behind-the-scenes secrets. Rita Mueller. This is actually not our final performance for any of the people on stage. Our seniors will be performing at the baccalaureate ceremony in this auditorium on Friday, June 14th, I believe. They've got something they're planning that I think is going to be really fun. They chose the music. And those of us who aren't seniors will be performing at graduation on Saturday, June 15th. And if you don't have a child graduating, you usually can still come if you want to hear the orchestra to that. That'll be on the front lawn. But finally, a huge thank you to every parent and guardian and family member and supporter in the audience here. There's dedication and talent you see on stage is only possible because of your support, from coming to rehearsals and getting instruments, making room in your home for a practicing instrument, thinking back to those beginning days when it maybe didn't sound as good as it does now, or when maybe they were practicing psycho upstairs and you were like, what is going on up there? So really, can we please give a huge round of applause for our parents and families in the audience? And we're going to finish this evening. Antonin Dvorak, Czech or Bohemian composer, 19th century, famous for his New World Symphony, his cello concerto, many, many works, and his Carnival Overture is one of his most beloved pieces. This is a great arrangement for string orchestra, and we're very excited to share it with you. So thank you again, and please enjoy. On your quick section bounce, have a seat. Faces in the back, please.
On behalf of all the seniors, we just wanted to thank Mr. Dell again. He bookend completed the last 2 years of our high school music journey. We've all been playing the violin with the school for 10 years, and it seems crazy, almost unthinkable that it's coming to an end. But when you came in, we especially in class did two of the things that I think are the most important in life, and that's we worked hard and we smiled. You gave the gift to music of us that is this great joy, so thank you.